Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And in today's review, I'll be following up my review from a couple months back of Samyang's Buldak Mala flavor from Indonesia with this variation of the same recipe. This is Samyang Buldak Mala with flat noodles in a bowl. Before we begin, please give this video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel and set your notifications if you like my reviews. Now, I went into the whole history of this Buldak Mala flavor in episode 164, so please watch that one for all the info. All I'm really going to touch on here is that this product is not quite the same as the Indonesian Buldak Mala from that video. These are very different noodles from what's in the pillow pack, and quite frankly, I won't know how similar the sauces are until I taste it, because the recipes are different. This one is a product of South Korea that you can find outside of South Korea in Asian grocery stores globally as a specially imported product, and you can order it online from eBay or some Korean specialty sites like mykmarket.com, which is where I got this one. If you live in the US and you can't find this in your local stores and you want it, it's not exactly cheap, but it is out there, and it is far easier to get than the Indonesian mala flavor. Now, the important questions I aim to answer in this review are, of course, is this good? But also, is it comparable to the very elusive pack version from Southeast Asia? So with all that said, I'm just going to jump right into the ingredients so I can keep this video hopefully a little shorter than that original review was. For the sodium level, we're at 1,360 milligrams compared to 1,490 milligrams in the pillow pack. Now, inside the bowl, we've got these flat noodles, which are made from potato starch, which is going to give them a distinctly chewier texture, I hope. We've also got a sauce packet and a flake packet. Now, let me tell you that translating this was a pain in the ass with Google Lens, mainly because of the way this text wraps around the bowl like this. But as best as I can tell, the sauce here has mostly the same stuff as the pillow pack sauce, but it's not vegan. There's some kind of milk derivative in here, as well as oyster sauce. And if you have allergies to worry about, there's also some kind of peanut powder in here. So already, I'm assuming that this sauce is going to taste at least a little different, whether in a subtle way or not so subtle way. I can't wait to find out. And the translation for the flake packet says that this is cabbage and red pepper in here. So let's put this all together. Now, I want to warn you that the packaging already prepared me for this, but in the translation it says to expect an alcohol smell coming off of these noodles, and indeed there is. It's pretty strong, but the packaging also says that the alcohol smell is not harmful and it will dissipate when it cooks. So don't be alarmed if you buy this and it has an odd smell right away. It's got to be some kind of preservative, I'm guessing, that cooks off. All right. The sauce does not smell very different from the pillow pack. Predominantly Sichuan peppercorn and Chinese 5-spice, which is, of course, what mala sauce tastes like. One key difference that I'm noticing already, though, this sauce is a lot more viscous, and there's a lot more of it. All right, if you don't have a translation app handy to cook this, you add hot water to the fill line, which is very low, and you microwave this for 2.5 minutes. So I'll go take care of that and I'll be right back. All right, this is what it looks like fresh out of the microwave. I'm gonna do my best to kind of separate these noodles here a little bit. They are a little clumped together, which, considering how they came packaged, is not a surprise, but not too bad as far as separation goes. Yeah. And I've only been stirring for about 30 seconds, and the sauce is already kind of settling into a thicker, more saucy consistency, which is great because this is not supposed to be a soup. So the less soupy, the better. The aroma of the sauce is largely the same as it was when I put it in. Lots of Chinese 5-spice, Sichuan peppercorn, very similar to the Indonesian variety. And I'm happy to say that, as promised, that alcohol smell from the noodles is completely gone. so the noodles don't smell like a doctor's office anymore. All right, time to give this a taste. All right, let's start with the noodles. And yeah, I haven't had noodles like these before. I am pretty sure that these are the same noodles that come in the Buldak Rosé bowls, which I have one in my pile to review. And I feel like I should like these more than I do. They've got a chew to them that's almost gummy in texture. Yeah, there's something about them that I'm just not a fan of. The gumminess, the texture, it's not really doing it for me. I know this style of noodles has its fans. If you're one of them, great, more power to you. I don't love these. I feel kind of bad saying this because thick noodles like this are usually my jam, but I can't get past the texture. 5 out of 10 for the noodles. The spice level is appropriately Buldak. It's extremely hot. It's got a strong linger to it. And on top of that, there's that numbing, tingling sensation from Szechuan peppercorn. And so yeah, this is as spicy as regular Buldak, as spicy as the Mala that I reviewed 9 episodes ago. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 on the spice score. It is very strong. And now for the overall score, let's talk about the sauce first. There is a difference between this sauce and the Indonesian Buldak Mala sauce. First and foremost, to my taste buds, this one has a stronger 5-spice Szechuan peppercorn flavor than the other one did. And in that regard, it is much more floral, earthy, some would say pungent. I hate to say it, but bitter. This is more bitter than the pack version is. I think the flavors in the Indonesian pack were a little more balanced than they are in here. In that version, I could taste the kind of staple Buldak sauce flavor underneath all the Mala spices and the artificial beef seasoning. And in this one, not so much. It's much more at the forefront. The cabbage flakes that are in here and the red pepper flakes, both pretty good. No complaints about that. Yeah, overall, this whole bowl isn't bad. I can get past the texture of the noodles enough to enjoy the sauce. But really, if I'm comparing this bowl to the pillow pack, I like everything about the pack more than I like what's in this bowl. But still, if you find this bowl in your supermarket, you like these flavors, you're not put off by the gummy texture of the noodles, then you're still going to enjoy this. As an overall score, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I'm just not enjoying it the same way I enjoyed the pack version. And even if I hadn't had that variety first, I think on its own, this is missing a lot of flavor nuance. It's still good, and if I was a bigger fan of the noodles, I would give this a 7 out of 10. But yeah, all those things combined, I'm just not enjoying this the same way I enjoyed the other one. And that's a wrap for Buldak Mala, unless they bring it back to other markets with yet another recipe. Given the choice between the pack version from Indonesia versus this bowl, I prefer the pack. The flavor of that sauce is more nuanced, the flakes in the pack version are better, and I prefer the regular round Buldak noodles to these flat potato noodles. I will say this bowl is a good alternative if you can't find that variety, but they're definitely not the same thing. But if you're a Buldak fanatic and you gotta catch them all just like Pokemon, you're going to want to get both the pack and this bowl because they are different experiences. And that's it for this review. And would you believe that there's still 3 more South Korean Buldak flavors sitting in my cabinet that I have yet to review? One of them is that rosé flavor I mentioned earlier. Let me know if you want to see more Buldak sooner rather than later, and I'll get those varieties pushed up in my queue. And really, at this point, keeping up with all the different varieties of Buldak should be its own separate channel. But anyway, until next time, let me know what you think if you try this flavor or the Indonesian one, and hopefully I'll see you here again on Noodle Journey.